well, I've lived on the 2600 military block it's about 8th and Oregon for close to 10 years now. Rented for a couple of years and then bought. I really like South Philly, the neighborhood, the feel, people. Obviously, bought my house a couple of years later on the same block. With the refinery, it's been, it always seemed like it was always a bit of a cloud, and I mean that figuratively, not literally. Occasionally you get the alerts that they're going to test some siren, occasionally, there's some foul smell, and it came from some accident that we hear about maybe days later. But other than that, I mean, things have been pretty quiet until this Energy Hub stuff that came up. Again, I should say more publicly, came up recently. I know that's been kind of sort of smoldering, no puns intended there either. And knowing that they've been pushing pretty hard to sell it from the whole job side and all that. I guess the shale has been part of that. The shale extraction stuff has been part of that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. We really need to stop funneling money and resources into that type of energy. We're not going to do it overnight, I understand that, but we need to really legitimately start the process and start understanding other forms of energy and leveraging them. And if we stopped wasting resources on petrochemicals. Now I understand that there's obviously more to petrochemical than just energy, but that's how they're trying to spin it. So that's why I'm focusing on my comments right now. It just seems like a bad idea in the short term and a worse idea in the long term. Especially since I know enough about petrochemical refineries and the kinds of things that they're kind of allowed to get away with. I know that there are people that are hurting for employment. I suppose it could bring jobs. I would have to study that further. There's still either not a whole lot of information or a lot of misinformation about what's going on with those. I'm not even sure what I would want to ask. Obviously, I would hope that the long-term goal, even if they were to build it up initially, and when I say long-term goal, I'm talking 20, 25, 50 years, is to eventually, obviously, break that down and decommission it. Decommissioning is no joke either. What's that plan? What's that process? What's the impact? Even though that's long-term down the line, the surrounding community needs to know that. That could have just as much effect on them as operations. Part of what I do is, when you have, not only do you install it, how do you remove it, dismantle it? I mean, at some point, the end of the life needs to be considered. So that doesn't happen often enough. I would say purely emotional responses, I don't like it. Yeah. It is somewhat based in scientific thought in that, obviously the whole, petrochemical thing really needs to slow down. Longer term, it's not sustainable. And when I say sustainable, I mean not in the greenwashing term, in the fact that if we as a society are going to perpetuate our existence, it can't happen that way. Sooner or later, we need to come to terms with that. It's egregiously selfish, especially when policies are put in place by those that aren't affected by it. So when you frame it in that way, that's where I have to be careful, and I will openly admit and own that most of what I'm saying is an emotional response. I don't want it. Longer term, I don't want it. Doesn't sit well. Very little, unless, again, something specific has come up. If something did come up in the news, funny smell, oh my God, did you hear? The sirens were tested at noon today.
Yes.
We get those alerts. I think they're every Friday at noon, I think. That's usually all that gets talked about. Even amongst the more educated individuals, and again, I attribute that back to, there are people that know of the refinery and that it's there in some form or another, and that it's operating. But after that, and I don't think it's necessarily a case of out of sight, out of mind so much as just, again, the information isn't there. And even those that are educated or well enough are trying to find out, there seems to be a certain level of obscurity, I'm sure on purpose.